Hello students, welcome to the next lecture on the IIT-JAM 2019 Mathematical Statistics. Today we will discuss about question number 31 to 40, which is of the part B, and we have explained all these questions with the help of the shortcuts. Myself, Dr. Garg, working in the School of Mathematics, Thapar Institute. So let's start with this today's video. So this is the questions related to the multiple select. So it means they have more than one correct answers are there. So it means we have to think about the discarding the options are there. So let's start with the question number 31. What is given to you? A sequence of the positive real numbers says that series convergently. So what is the meaning of that when the series is convergent? What is the meaning is when it means if you take the limit of this as here is L, or if you take the series as xn plus 1 upon xn, if it is L, both should be less than of the 1 are there. That's the meaning of the convergent. Now you have to think about that, which of the following is always true. So check whether the first series is convergent. It means you have to think about either of these two conditions. So let's start with the ratio test for this first part. If I consider this is my complete is my an plus 1 upon an. So if I consider this is my an. So what is the an plus 1? So this is my an plus 1 divided by an. Fine. So what is that? This is my convergent by using the given condition, that's a L. This is also the L, so it's a L square, it's a L which is less than of the 1, so it means the series is convergent. So the first option is correct one. Look about the second part. You have to think about that any of the series which is convergent. So if I consider this series minus 1 raised to power n are here, you can see that this is convergent by using, yes, that by using the Leibniz test. So but what is the x of xn? This is nothing but my here. So if you consider the limit, it will never goes to the 0. It is oscillating series, either minus 1 to plus 1. So this option is cancel out. What about the series of the sine square? So we all know that sine square is always be less than of the 1, and it's always the limit is always be lies between the finite value. So it means it is a convergent art. So again, if you consider in this case xn is say my 1 by n square, so clearly says that this is my convergent by p test. But if I substitute this xn in here, what will happen? This is nothing but 1 by n of this. What is the answer of this? This is here. So is this series convergent? No, this is my divergent series by using the p test. So therefore this option is cancelled out. The correct answers are my A and C. Look what the another one is. So any of the function which is continuous and differentiable over the domain of this, that means all the real line minus of 0. Fine. So you have to think whether if f is differentiable at 0. So think any of the function which is differentiable at 0 and the derivative is also 0, then either maximum or minimum. So think any of the function which is neither the maximum nor the minimum, and these two conditions are satisfied. So very simple, that's x cube. You can see what is the f dash of 0. It's a 0, but the point x is 0 is neither the maximum nor the minimum. That's called as the saddle point P. So it means the first option is cancel out. Look about the second option. If f has a local minimum at 0, then f is differentiable. So you have to think any function which is minimum at 0 but it is not differentiable at 0. That's a very common example. There is a mod of x. It has the minimum value at 0 but it is not differentiable at 0. So it means this option also cancel out. If f dash is less, whenever x is less than here, its value is my negative, and whenever x is my positive, its value is my positive. So what is the meaning of, what is the definition of that? It will give you a minimum answer. It will give the point is minimum. Why? Because it give you less than 0. It means the points are something here. So you are going from below to upside are there. That means you have given a minimum value. So but it is given as a global maximum. So this option also cancel. Only the correct option is my here. If you think about here, any of the value which are positive, and whenever x is greater than 0, it's a negative are there. It means you are going from up to down. So that means here is my maximum answer. So the correct answer is my D. Only the correct option is my D. Look about the another one is a P is any 2 cross 2 matrix with the real entries, and every non-zero vector is eigenvector. What is the meaning of that? It means if you multiply with any non-zero vector like x1 and x2, it will give you it is eigenvalue, it's eigenvector. That means this condition holds for all the pairs of the x1 and x2, which is a non-zero. So what is the meaning of? So it means, what is the nature of this matrix P? So very simple result is the nature of the matrix P in which every non-zero vector is the eigenvector is called as the scalar matrix P. That's a very simple result. You should remember the shortcut tricks. The nature of P is the scalar. What is the meaning of the scalar matrix? That is nothing but my alpha I. And this is a 2 cross 2, so it means the matrix P is my alpha 0, alpha 0. Alpha is anyone. So once you know this is scalar, what is the eigens value of this? Eigens values are my alpha and alpha. It means both are my same. So the first option is cancelled. So once both the eigens values are same, it means it will be my 2, that is my one of the eigenvalues my root 2. So we can think about here when it will be the root 2 eigenvalue, when you can write this value as of this. So what is that? Is it possible? Yes, you can do, like it is nothing but my 2 and this is root 6, and you can see small t belongs to the R, so the root 6 is my R, hence this is my eigenvalue. So that's the true. So one eigenvalue is my root 2. Both the eigenvalues are same. Other values is also root 2. So the product is my 2. That's also the correct answer. Can root 3 is the eigenvalue? So you can see again. So if I multiply this, can you write this value as of this? You can't. Why? You clearly say that it is my root 6 and this is my 3. So this 3 belongs to the R. That's fine. But what is we need? We need the value as a 2, which is not as a 2. So this option is cancel out. So the right answer is my B and C all. Look what the another one is there. So P is a skew symmetric matrix. So P transpose is nothing but my minus P. N is my even. What is the value of the N? N can be 2, N can be 4, N can be 6. So it is not given to you. So for the sake of simplicity, what you can do, you can take any of the value. So let's say I can consider N is my 2 for the sake of simplicity. So what is my P? So think about any of the 2 cross 2 matrix, which is the skew matrix. So this is my 0, 1 and minus 1. Also we know that whenever there is a skew matrix, what are the eigens values of this? What are the eigens value of this skew symmetric matrix? Either 0 or purely imaginary. Okay, and we all know that imaginary occurs in the pair. So once they are occurring in the pair, it means if I consider 2 cross 2, what are the eigens values of this? That's the plus minus of iota. So it means once they are the even order, so it means this is always occurring in the pair. So what is the sum of the eigens value? Sum of the eigenvalues always be a 0. So this option is correct. Look about the first one. So we all know when you can say AX is 0 has infinite many solution. This has infinite many solution only when the determinant of A is 0. When that is it true? No. Because if you consider this example, what is the eigenvalues of this? Eigenvalues are iota and minus iota. And what is the product of this? It is non-zero. It means this is not be true. Px is lambda x is the unique solution for every non-zero lambda. So if I consider here, clearly says that P minus of lambda I of x is my 0. What is the meaning of that? When it will becomes a unique solution, when it is nothing but my characteristics equation. Or you can simply take of this example again. So this is 0, minus 1, 1, 0. If I multiply this by x and y, what will happen? It is nothing but my minus y of x and of lambda times of x and y. So clearly say that it has a solution of the, when you solve you will get the lambdas here. So it's a unique solution. Look about this third part, that is if I clear this screen for you. Now what is that? If I consider again this example, so what is the I plus p? So I plus p is nothing but my 1, 1 minus 1, and this is nothing but 1, 1 I minus p, so it's my minus 1, it's my plus 1 of inverse. Now what is that? If I multiply this here, what is the inverse of this? So you can find that determinant is my 2, cofactor 1, 2, this is my plus 1, this is my minus 1. So if you clearly say that if you multiply them, it's a 2, it's a 0, it's a 0, it's a 2 divided by 2. What is that? This is nothing but my I. So therefore Q is my I. So if Q is I, Q transpose Q is again I, product is I. So the correct options is my B, C and D are the right answers. Now they are talking about the CDF. So a very simple rule about that. So remember, this is the shortcut fix which we can solve it easily. This is FB minus FA. Make sure that the equality must be there on this sign and not be here. So if there is a equality on this side like of this, so what I can write, this is FB, but here is the equality need, but we don't need the equality, so I can write A negative. Also if I say this is my here, so since we need the equality at this side but it is not be available, so I can write this negative, but here is the equality but we don't need the equality, so it can be written like here and solved. So let's see for the first part how you can solve it. So since we need the equality at this side but it is not be there, so I can written as 2 negative. We don't need the equality at this side and it is again not given, so I can written as F1. What is that 2 minus? There is a 2 minus H lies in this case, so it will be my 4 plus 3. F1, 1 equality is again lies in this case, so is 4 by 10. So answer is 3 by 10. That's the correct option. Look about the second part. So I can write this value, since equality we need, so it is already there, so it is F2. We don't need equality, so again it is not be there, so it's F1. What is the F2? 2 lies here, that's a 1. 1 is lies here, so it's a 4 by 10. So what is that? 6 by 10 is a 3 by 5 is the right answer. Again we need the equality at this side but it is not be there, so it's a 2 minus. We don't need the equality here, so it's a F1 minus. What is that 2 negative? 2 negative here, so it will be my 7 by 10. It will be my 1 negative lies here, so it will be my 2 by 10. So it's a 5 by 10, that's a 1 by 2 is the right answer. For this portion we can again write as f of 2 minus f of 1 negative. What is the f of 2 is 1. What is the f1 negative is 2 by 10. So this is 8 by 10, so it's also a right answer. So it means this problem has all these correct answers are. Look about the another one is there. So what is given to you, x and y follows the exponential distribution. Then your target is to find this value. So firstly we will look about that. What is the nature of this? It can be x minus y or 0, provided whether this is greater than 0 or this is less than 0. That's fine. So it means if x and y follow here, our target is to find the distribution of this. How you can find the distribution of this? We can use the MGF. That's a very simple task. So what is the MGF of x minus y? Because they are IID and independent, so I can write this value as of this. So since what is the MGF of this exponential part? So this is nothing but this is the MGF of the exponential. So I can substitute this value here, this for the x, because they are the IID, so the MGF of the y is also the same, but here is a minus of this, so it can be written as plus of this. So this is nothing but here. Fine. So do you remember which distribution has the MGF of this? That is nothing but my Laplace distribution. So once it's a Laplace distribution, what's the PDF of the Laplace distribution of the x minus y? So if I in journal, if I write the MGF of if I write the PDF of say x, or x is already present here, so if I write the of say small t, t is also be there, so if I write this value as say p, so what is that? This, what is the MGF of this is lambda by 2 e raised to power minus of p, where p is a random variable. Now if you look about that, if I consider small z is nothing but my x minus y, so what will happen? This is either z is greater than 0 or z is less than 0. When it's less than 0, it's a 0, and this follows the Laplace distribution. That's the meaning of this. So it means what is the f of z? This is lambda by 2 e raised to power, and when it's a positive, so it might here provided this. Now how you can find the CDF? You can easily find the CDF of this, so that the CDF, otherwise what is the CDF of the Laplace distribution. The CDF of the Laplace distribution is my 1 minus half e raised to power minus of this. So you can see this option is the correct option. This is cancel out of this. Now what about this? So I can write this PDF in terms of the CDF. So how you can write this in terms of the CDF? So this is f of 0 minus f of 0 negative. So what is the f of 0? Since this is the correct option, so 0 lies here. So it will be my 1 minus 0 is half. 0 negative lies here, it's a 0. So half minus 0 is half. So A and B are the correct options. C and D are the wrong answers. Look about the next one are there. So what is that? You have to find the marginal of this and this are there. So that's again very simple task about that. So I will tell you the simple way. So which is given to you as here. So since the numerator part is constant, so I can bifurcate this portion as of this and this. What is the meaning of that? This is the MGF of M. M is related with the X. This is the MGF of the X. This is the MGF of Y. This is the first method. Else you can find the MGF of the X like of this e raised to power minus 2 m factorial collection of all those n. So e raised to power minus 2 is common, m factorial is common, this is 1 upon n factorial. So 0 to infinity. So do you remember which series is there? So you can see this is nothing but my here. What is the value of the x in this case? X is my 1. So this is e raised to power 1. So it means if once this value is my e raised to power 1, so if you multiply them, you can see is my here. Okay. So which distribution is here? So clearly says that this is nothing but my Poisson distribution. Why? Because it's you all knows that this is my here. So if you compare them, what is the value of the lambda? Is my 1. So it means MGF of the x follows the Poisson distribution. Once is a Poisson distribution, can it be the mean too? We all knows that the Poisson distribution has a mean lambda. So it means the first option is cancel. Is the random variable x and y independent? That's fine. That's true, because you can see the product of the two MGF is nothing but the joint density function. So it's my here. The covariance between x and x plus root 3y. So that's very simple. We can apply the property of the covariance. This plus root 3 is outside, covariance of x comma y. So what is the covariance of x comma x? This is nothing but my variance of x. What is the covariance of x and y? That's a 0. Why? Because the second part is proof that x and y are independent. Once x and y are independent, it means the covariance is my 0. What is the variance of the x? X follows the Poisson distribution. So the mean and the variance are same. For the Poisson distribution, they are equal to be 1. So the answer is 1. So that's also the correct answer. So look what the last options are there. So what is given to you? You have to find the marginal density function of y. So let's start with here. So we derive that the marginal density function is my here. Now we need the n plus 1. So if I multiply this by n plus 1 and divide by n plus 1, it is nothing but my n factorial. So what is that? I can write this value as nothing but n plus 1. So it means n plus 1 is there. So this also option is also correct. So the correct answers are my B, C and D are the correct answers. Look about the next questions are there. So which is the IID and which of the following converges to the normal distribution? It means your target is to apply the center limit theorem. So firstly you have to find the xi. So what is the mean of, what is that, which distribution is here? So if I write this value as of this manner, how you can write this is 2 e raised to power minus of 2x plus of 1. So what is that? This portion is my exponential distribution. So this is shifted by, so this is called as the shifted exponential distribution. So what is the mean of the exponential distribution? So we all knows that mean is my 1 by lambda, variance is my 1 by lambda square, but which is shifted by half are there. So mean is also shifted by half, but variance of the constant value is 0. So therefore, what is the mean of the xi? What is the mean of this? So exponential distribution this has a mean 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. The answer is my 1. What is the variance of the xi? The 1 by 2 square, that is 1 by 4. So therefore xi will follows the normal distribution. Xi follows the not the xi has a mean 1, variance is my this. So what is the value of the Sn? It follows the normal distribution. This has a mean 1, this has a mean 1, this has a mean 1, so the total is my n. Where they are IID, so the variance of x1 is 1 by 4, 1 by 4, so it will be n by 4. So therefore we can write this in terms of the central limit theorem, that is the mean divided by n by root n by 2. So what is that? It will goes to the 0 by using the center limit theorem. So which option is the correct one? This option is the correct one. Although root 2 is not be there, but this is a constant value which can be taken on this side. So that means Sn minus n upon this also goes to the 0. So that's the correct option. This option is wrong. Here is the x bar. So we can find this x bar is nothing but my here. So what is the mean of the xn by n? 1 by n is outside. So mean of the Sn. So the mean of the Sn is my n. So n by n is my 1. If you find the variance, what is the variance of this? It will be the n square variance of this. So variance of this is n by 4. So it is my 1 by 4n. So therefore we can write this in terms of the central limit theorem. It is 1 by root 2 of n. It goes to the 0. So clearly says that 1 by 2 is also goes to the zeros, and the 1 by root n is can be written like here. So this option is correct answer. This option is also correct answer because 2 is a constant value. So the correct options are A, C and D. Now look about this. So your target is to find which is the consistent estimator. So firstly I will tell you what is the meaning of the consistent estimator. So T is said to be the consistent estimator of theta when you prove that expected value of T will goes to theta as n goes to the infinity and variance of this goes to the 0 as n approaches infinity. That's the definition of the consistent estimator. So look about that. What is given to you? This is nothing but my uniform distribution. Once it's a uniform distribution, we all knows what is the estimator of this theta. This is nothing but my I can write. We all knows that this is nothing but my ordered statistics 1. What is the meaning of this is? That is the minimum of x1 up to the xn. Now if you look about that, what is that? This is my x1. So it means T of n is nothing but my x1, and this is my this is the estimator of theta for the uniform distribution by using the this test, which estimate there is a maximum likelihood estimator are there. So once it's every maximum likelihood estimators are the consistent estimator, we all knows that it means Tn is my consistent estimator of theta. So the first option is correct. So once the first option is correct, now we can discard the other options are there. So look about that. Check whether the first property holds or not. I can write this value this. So this value as n approaches infinity. So as the first option is correct, this goes to the 0. So but this will never goes to theta because of this. So this option is cancelled out. Look about this option Tn plus 1. So if you look about this expected value of this plus 1 by n. So as n approaches infinity, it goes to the theta, plus as n approaches is a 0. So it goes to here. So this is the correct answer. Again this goes to the 0, that's fine, but due to the presence of minus 1, it can never goes to the theta as n approaches infinity. So the right answers are A and C all. Look about the last questions are there. So what is that? You have to find the maximum power R. So what is the meaning of the maximum power test are there? So you have to start with the L1 divided by L0, which is always be say greater than K. This is the reason of the rejection. What is the L1 is? Likelihood estimator at the point of this, and the L0 is my here. So we can substitute the value of this. What is the L is my product of here divided by product of this. So I can write the product as a common. This is my K. So I can substitute the value of L where lambda is my 3 by 4. So it is my 6 by 4 x e raised to power minus 3 by 4 of x square divided by of L0. What is the L0 is? Half. So it is my 1 x e raised to power minus half of x square. So 6/4 is a constant which is taken outside, and we can take in this side. X and x will be cancelled out, so I can write this value as product e raised to power minus x square. I can take it as a common, so minus 3/4 minus half is greater than of k dash. 6/4 is a constant out there, so I can write this value as nothing but summation of x square of this constant value, say a is greater than of k dash. So I can take this as logarithm, so it's a minus of x square is a constant value, so logarithm is say k double dash. So minus I can take on the other side, so x square, a can be divide sign, so it's a constant, or my final constant is my here. So this is the reason for the rejection. So look about the options. So this is the sum of the exercise is less than c, that's fine, but it's a reject h0, that's the correct option. But this is a rejected h0, but it's a greater than sign, so it's a wrong option. So since it's a MPE, so it's existed for all the level of the significance are there, so that's the correct answer. So the right options is my A and C are the correct options. So this is the way you can solve all these 10 questions within a 20 minutes. You can see with the help of all these shortcut tricks are there. I hope you can simply learn this one. We will see the next 10 questions in our next lectures. Till then, you can simply find the previous lectures of the IIT-JAM, all the complete questions in my playlist name IIT-JAM discussions, channel name Dr. Harish Garg, where you can find all those previous year papers solution with the help of shortcut tricks. You can see all are my very fine minutes are. I hope you can like, share and comment this video with your friends. Best of luck students. Happy learning.